Oh, I just got finished up. Got a program for Saturday. Just got finished up and am on my way back to the barn real quick. Pretty good day. A crappy day. Crappy day, but a good qualifying day. Some were really good. Some need another little bit more work. There were a couple of schoolers that were a little flat. We'll go over all of them. In total, 11 horses from the stable made their way to Mohawk Raceway to qualify and school this morning. Very busy day. It was cold. It's 1 o'clock almost, and it's only 9 degrees now. So at 10 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock when we were warming up, it was about 3-4 degrees out. Pretty stiff east wind. It was cold. It was a cold day. Well, I'll tell you what. I got here and I couldn't find my my beanie. I had to borrow one because it was just too cold for my big ears. And I actually put winter gloves on. That's how cold and it was cold. Literally cold. So we'll get right into it. First qualifier, Blue Bayou Dio and Wind Hanover win together. That wind hit us coming out of the turn. Now, I thought Blue put a couple of shuffles in. She hasn't been to the vet at all yet, so she'll go to the vet on Monday. I'd like to see her come back with one more qualifier. I want her to look like Kemp did later on before we just throw her into race. I'd like to see another qualifier into her, and that's what's going to happen next week. Wind Hanover, I wanted to see more, and I think it's there. It's a very odd case of, I might be wrong, maybe she's just an okay horse, but I still think there's a real good horse lurking just under the surface, but we got to get her into that. I'd asked Amy, because of the track at Tamiko this week, we weren't really able to train her hard, and I think qualifier to qualifier, she needs that training trip in between. She needs to be on her toes. She needs to be sharp, and that is what we're going to do approaching her race next week. She's going to need 2-3 starts before we really say, okay, she's this or she's that. So I want to see what Wind Hanover looks like in her 2 racing situations. A little underwhelming today. James said, maybe we'll take those flip-flops off. I do believe she kind of spins her wheels and doesn't have the same confidence with them on. We could change the flip-flops, put bars. I think we're just going to go to a normal trotting shoe and see how she was. She was biting the right line a little more before we put the flip-flops on her, so we want to keep a real good eye on how she's handling in the mile. James will know, right? He's gone with her the last 4 or 5 weeks in a row. He'll drive her in her maiden voyage for sure, I would think. And he'll know if she's on the right line more or less, so we can keep an eye on her in that regard. Overall, when you look at the entire day, what kind of a qualifier was that? 58 in that wind. I think Blue Bayou Dio come 29 seconds maybe. And the other filly come 31 also. The other thing worth noting is Wind Hanover is a bigger filly with a bigger frame to put on, and Blue Bayou Dio is like a little pit bull. So worth noting also. So very happy with Blue Bayou Dio. Like to see another qualifier from her. Moderately happy. I've been telling you guys the same things, and I have to tell myself sometimes too. I want to see more, but I really believe this is a very unique situation where you're going to see her grind forward a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. That's how I feel anyway. We'll see if I'm right or wrong here in the next month. I went out next with Twinkle in Her Eye. Yeah, James did. I remember going out the track saying, why am I going with this filly? James not in here, but I think he did have one in there. Get out of there good. I just followed the wrong horse. I didn't realize how good that horse was on the front. I figured a quarter in 30 seconds. I'm like, I guess we'll go mile 59. No. That was a big last 3 quarters for Twinkle. I mean, Twinkle's not a killer. I think she's an okay, useful horse that's going to work her way up into 53, 54, 55 speed as the year goes on, I believe. An okay horse. Like, she's going to be headed to the series in London. She's not going to be racing against the top non-winners of 2, non-winners of 3 horses at Mohawk. She's just a horse, but I think a very useful one. So I was happy with Twinkle Day. She got out of the gate good. She followed. She just couldn't keep up with that horse. It was the last 3 quarters in like 126 in a cold day. I still don't know the name of that thing, but definitely quite a bit better than Twinkle for sure. Now the next qualifier was the most odd. I had put Eyes of 10 on the front, and I let her scoot along. I really wanted to go mile 59. But the wind, I don't want to make excuses, say, oh, the wind blew out of nowhere. It just was unbelievable for that qualifier. No, but it was strong. Eyes of 10's a smaller filly, and she's just, quite frankly, an okay horse, but if it's going to be a very useful horse, was not hitting herself, got out of the gate good, relaxed on the front end to the point where if you watch closely, actually tapped her to kept her going. Now the wind's at her back. So to get over the half in 1-1 coming into a stiff headwind would mean to 4, which we almost got to anyway. I'd asked James, I was so surprised. I opened up the rail down the lane thinking Archer's Rainbow would just thunder through. She just kind of lumbered past me and didn't even get up to win. I said to James, "Is everything okay?" He goes, "She was terrible. Trotting terrible." So I come off the track and I see Harry saying something to him, and he's, I see the hand gestures, and now I want to get the story, right? What the hell's going on with this filly? I was happy with Eyes of 10. Eyes of 10 will go over and do very well in that Iron Maiden series, I think, for fillies. I saw Colt qualify yesterday. I don't want to be part of that one. Hopefully there's segregated fillies and mares, colts, and geldings. I hope they are. If not, it may not be as cool as I think. I'm going to look into that. But I was happy with her. I think she could trot in a race situation right now at Mohawk 58, 59 on a legitimately decent day. This was a cold day. And not settings for her, and she's not quite as great on the front end anyway. I just wanted to hear Archer's Rainbow behind me. I wanted to hear how she was breathing, which was good, actually. So I'm not worried about Eyes of 10. She'll be just fine. But Archer's Rainbow, so I did get the story. I go up to Harry. I said, "Okay, what was up with her today?" He goes, "Anthony, I'm sorry." He said, "I'm like you. I hate shoeing horses close to the race. We had 4 on the board to get shod. Blacksmith came in the barn. I wasn't really thinking. I jogged a horse 20, 25 minutes. He told me maybe Brave World. He said, I come off the track and I come through the door and it just dawns on me. I'm looking at the blacksmith shoeing a horse. It's Archer's Rainbow. I would have said, do the other 3. We'll do her Monday." Because that's what I would have done. He comes down and he goes, "Is that Archer's Rainbow?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "She's qualifying tomorrow, man." And he goes, "Oh, Jesus, Harry, I'm really sorry. I already got 1 foot done. I got all the shoes off her and a foot done." He goes, "I'll just shoe her." So I said to Harry, "Well, she's tenacious." James said she was really rocky in the corner. She got to go to the vet, too. This filly hasn't been to the vet other than to check her throat forever that I'm aware of. There was no, "Hey, fluoroscope," or, "Hey, see if you want to do any work on her." It was, "Hey, is she going to be able to race? Is this filly going to be able to function?" No issues. I could hear that. Remember we talked about that flutter, right? That just that something. If you're a driver, you can hear the horse behind you. You can hear something. But if one side's not moving in sync with the other one, you're going to hear a disruption of some sort of air. And I think you hear that flutter. The good news is no swelling, no redness detected in Archer's Rainbow also. So that's good. And the shoeing thing, I mean, it's just, what are you going to do? It's done. But the fact that she did her work, didn't look to get out, and then passed Eyes of 10 down the lane and was coming to the other horse shows exactly how tenacious that filly is. So, although it wasn't a very visibly pleasing qualifier for Eyes of 10 or Archer's Rainbow, I can tell you I was very happy with both fillies. Eyes of 10 is going to be a 57, 58 trotter in Ohio, maybe 58 in a piece at Northfield Park, much like I think you're going to see her be much like Mama Knows Best or I'm a Lovely Lady was the year before. Very useful horses. And I think that's what you're going to see from Eyes of 10. Archer's Rainbow, I still got very high hopes for her. What I saw today was a determined horse. Couldn't hear her breathing, so that's good. Any more than I expected. She's going to take her to the vet Monday. Might need her knees done. May need some vet work done on her. We'll take her to the vet Monday and find out. And that left 2 extremely impressive performances left for qualifiers today. 2 really, really good performances. Unbeatable Kemp has not looked that good. Now, I know he's fast. You know he's fast. But it's always been on his terms, right? Rev him up. He's revved up at Northfield that night when he won, chasing speed in Kentucky. But could he follow, behave, and then dominate horses? He looked like it looked like a cat and mouse game today. He just toyed with them and then just inhaled them late. And what I loved is he never let up going through the wire, not even for a step. Very, very, very impressive mile by him. And quite frankly, almost an equally impressive mile by Resolute Bay. James had picked off to go with another Resolve colt. This one's Mark Stacey's, and him and I talked, and he said, and he has a good-looking colt. I saw the horse pulling up. He was a good-looking colt. But our colt, he understands it now. He gets it, right? He didn't really know what was going on. He's never been moved quarter poled to the front, but the horse on the front was pulling up. We would have been at the half in 2. I don't come, maybe 3. So he heard me coming, and he went on a bit, but finally when we chug-a-lugged to the front, even Resolute Bay kind of said, okay, now what? I just tapped him on the tail, set the bit in his mouth, and roared at him. Man, he was all business, and he had lots left. I think both those colts are sitting on 56, 57 if they needed to, which I hope we don't, but and for a while. but both those colts are they're ready to eat. They're ready to rock. Very happy with them. Before we go over this, I'll get to the schoolers. My Mini Miracle, many of my partners on My Mini Miracle, she got that nasty quarter crack left hind, and it's in a bad spot. Now, before anybody starts drawing conclusions between her and my Jazz, there is none. None. It's apples and fish. Two very, very different things. She's got a quarter crack up in the hairline. It will grow down, but it's been pesky. And the place where it's at, it's really hard to get pressure off of that area because she lands on that outside corner of that outside hind quarter of the foot. So take the foot, chop it in 4 quarters. The outside corner, there's a quarter crack that goes up into the flesh, into the meat. So what has to happen usually is it grows down, but until it grows down, it's kind of painful. Brought her over here today. I didn't know how she'd be. Put her on the front. Not really a front end type filly. In that wind, 30 a minute, 1:30 and 2 minutes and a fifth. A very good mile for My Mini Miracle. Brett McDonald was beside me pulling up. I said, hey, you drive anything in the numbers of 50 at London or Flamborough? Not that I know of. I said, you can drive this one if you want. She's probably going to need a roller burr on the left, and we're going to have to work on that quarter crack. It did bleed. I could see it. We had it taped up and vet wrapped up. It did bleed a bit. My hope is that we can mitigate that, get it to grow down as we're racing her. If she comes up lame in 2 days, then she may need another week. But that will grow down now that we got it all taken away and the pressure's off best we can. It will grow down, and we will get it right. But for now, I think next Friday at London, Brett McDonald can drive her, I guess. He watched her go. He followed her, saw her on the gate, and then we had a conversation after about it. I said, just put her nose right on the gate and let her trot. I might actually talk to Dominic about putting... so Dominic is the trainer of the horse now. We did some switching around. Resolute Bay has moved to Harry Polton's barn. Laugh Now and My Mini Miracle has moved to Dominic's barn. So I'd said to Dominic, I'm going to say to Dominic, maybe an open bridle on her. I don't know if she ever wore one, but she doesn't really take to the whip. You can't snap her and, hey, she'll go on. Just kind of shake the lines at her and roar at her, snap the wheel disc, and she'll trot forward. But she doesn't really respond to the whip very well. So maybe put an open bridle on her. She's a fighter, though. She's not a bad horse. She looks like $1 million. And Nellie and her mom did such a good job with this filly. She's actually almost fat, but not too fat. I actually like how she looks. I think with an open bridle on, roller burr inside, I don't think she'll see too much, and she's dialed in. She knows her work. So I think with that open bridle on, put her on the front. As soon as she sees somebody coming, it's going to be game on. I think that's probably how we'll race My Mini Miracle in London or Flamborough, wherever they decide to go with her. Garden State Dio. I'm going to get to her last. I'm going to do her last because there is a fairly significant statement here. I'm going to do her last. Peanut Butter and Jelly. This filly's very mediocre. Very mediocre filly. She's going to go to London for a start, and then we'll see. Both her and Better Be Sawyer, those horses are likely going to be sold in the next little while, and there's nothing wrong with them. Like, I'm not angry at the horses. I can't ask horses to do more than they're capable of doing. I'm not going to get angry because the horses aren't physically talented enough to impress me. That doesn't anger me. What angers me is when the horses don't put out a fair and honest effort. I just think that she's an okay filly doing an okay job. I think we're going to probably race her at London next week also. I think he went a mile in 2:4 today, but it was a horrible day. Chris got away at the back with her, and maybe even 2:5, I don't know. We'll race her. She's a racehorse now. World for Two and Renegade Gypsy come over here the way Mario went with them. He just kept them at the back. This was their first schooler now. World for Two is actually a little late for dinner. He's got a series coming up. We'll qualify him twice. And I don't really care about the series. Make the second leg, whatever. We're just using them as races to get them up into where we want. Numbers of 1, numbers of 2. Stallion series, hopefully. And then we'll see what World for Two is. We're not going to rush them now that we're almost here. That series in the Meadows is very similar to what I've told you guys about the Hackett. If we get there on time, great. If we don't, okay. We don't. And that's probably where we're at with World for Two. I mean, if I thought he was a 52 pacer that was just going to go over and dominate, okay, we'd have him ready to rock. Let's let the horse become the horse he's going to be. He'll qualify twice, I would imagine, and then we'll likely send him over to the Meadows. Probably no need of racing him in a maiden here. He can go to the Meadows and race there. Renegade Gypsy, I didn't really talk to Mario, but I could tell the way he was backing him off the gate, and he was asking me going up, how much are you going? Who do you got? He probably only wanted to go a mile in 2:4, 2:5, and that's likely where he went today. But I thought, I was beside him for a little while. I thought the horse looked rather well. Good-looking horse today. I was very happy with him. That leads us to Garden State Dio. Okay. Everybody pay attention. Garden State Dio has been to the vet twice. Now, at 2, little rocky. She wore the hobbles really tight, but she can muscle through it, right? But when we allow them to muscle through it like that, we're expecting improvement. Then you can say, that ankle bothers her feet bother her. Let's manage those, work on those, and then she'll get better and better and better. Much like your sister, Garden State Dio did. Ran all over the track for a lot of times training in her life, but we were able to mitigate the secondary issues. Her knees and feet bothered her when she was young. Because of that, her hocks got a little sore sometimes, and her back got sore. By mitigating all that, getting cork off her, getting her trained down, she turned into a nice filly. This filly still has that soreness left hind. And I can tell you my suspicions, and I'll tell you in a minute. So she went to the vet. The vet did work on her a month ago or so. It didn't really seem different to me. The power was there. The strength was there. The horse wasn't. Still rocky. If you go back and look at that open house day, she just wasn't herself. Fast, strong, but not fluid. She looked sore. Took her to the vet last week. Yeah, lower hocks, left ankle. We'll do some work on her hip. I think she's good. She was the worst she's ever been today. Strong. Very, very strong. Probably a mile and 2.2. She went a mile in 2 minutes last week, but not comfortable at all. So the vet had her opportunity to x-ray or fluoroscope her. She x-rayed and fluoroscoped whatever she thought she needed looked at, got looked at. Melissa McKee is probably one of the best in the business that I've seen. It's twice now she's looked at her. So my take on it is simple. If she can't find it, and in fact, the issues she said she found and then treated were no better today. Overall, it led to 0% improvement. In actual fact, you know, if we're not factoring in the track, the wind, and a number of other factors, I actually saw regression today. I'm not upset. She's not lame. She's just not good. So I'm going to make it very simple. I'm not selling her. I'm not breeding her. I think there's a real good horse in there. It's just not ready to come out yet. For whatever reason. Did she get hurt? Does she have a hole in her? Does something bother her? I don't know. I'm going to stand her in the stall for 3 weeks in case there's a line, which I know there isn't. I suspect, my suspicion, is there's a ligament or something bothering her up high. We all know if we hurt ligaments, soreness, they got to rehab, right? These are big horses too. Time. That's really it. Time. There's no point pretending she can race. Yeah, I can force her to race. I can tighten her hobbles up and lighten her shoes up so she can get out of the way and put her in to go in a maiden somewhere so she looks like an inferior animal. I was going to say a lot of different things, but an inferior animal? She's not. It's a nice filly that wants to be a powerhouse, that wants to be a good horse. I don't like making decisions like this to turn horses out when they should be racing. But I can see that she's trying to be a good horse. I can see that she's trying to be better and better and better. She's not capable. Her body is not allowing her to do what her heart and her mind wants her to do. The worst thing we can do is break her heart. That's it. That's it. Break her heart. She doesn't like racing anymore. She's all done. So we're going to stand her in the stall for 3 weeks, and I'm going to turn her out for a month, maybe 2. I'm going to bring her back in when she's brimming with confidence, shiny, dappled up, fat, and happy. I'm going to start over. We're going to have her ready for the latter part of the summer. There's lots of stake racing all over the place. There's lots of overnights. There's lots of racing for Garden State Dio, just not like that. I'm certainly not giving up on her. She's not giving up on us. I'm not giving up on her. So we're going to stand her for 3 weeks in case there is something festering, which there isn't, in my opinion. And then we're going to give her 2 months in the field, right when the grass is the greenest, the sun's the hottest, the longest sunny days. We're going to give her 2 months off. We're going to reset Garden State Dio. So that is not bad news. I know what would be bad news? We're going to put her in to go next week and have her look horrible. That would be bad news. No. I'm going to allow her to become the filly I know she is. That's what we're going to do. So Garden State Dio is going to stand in the stall for 3 weeks and go to the farm for the best part of the latter part of spring, heading into summer. We'll bring her back. We'll have her ready for the end of summer, into the fall, and have a nice fresh filly to race right throughout the fall into the winter, hopefully. So that's my plan with Garden State Dio. We have to be able to pivot when things come up. She's not injured, to the point where she's, we got to, something really wrong with her. No. There is a hole or holes in her. Nothing that can't be fixed without time, I don't believe. So that's what she's going to get. 3 weeks in the stall, 2 months in the field, well, at least a month. You know, if the farm calls me in a month, in 7 weeks and says, hey, Anthony, this filly looks awesome. Okay, fine, we'll go pick her up. If it takes another month, then that's what it's going to take. But that's my plan for Garden State deal. So I'm certainly not disappointed in her. It's just a situation where we have to step back, say what's best for the horse. How are we going to address this? So because what's best for her is what's best for us. You guys know that. So how do we address that? I think I just did in the most conservative and proper way we can. 3 weeks in the stall, at least 4, maybe 8 weeks in the field, and then start her back up. So what went on today? Quick review. Unbeatable Kemp was exceptionally good. Resolute Bay, exceptionally good. My Mini Miracle, very good. Got to work on that quarter crack and get her squared away. World for Two, Renegade Gypsy, need a couple of qualifiers coming up. Blue Bayou Dio's going to the vet. Going to have another qualifier for her. Will the Win Hanover is going to be in to go. We're going to race her and see how she comes. Twinkle in Her Eye is fine. She'll race in the City of London and race in the B tracks, I would imagine. She's not a Mohawk. She's not a Gold Filly. You guys know that. I don't have to shine you on and tell you she is. She isn't. But looks like she's going to be a useful horse. And Eyes of 10 will be heading to the Iron Maiden series in Northfield Park. And Arches Rainbow, probably, I guess, another qualifier. Should go to the vet first on Monday also. So I got to secure, I have a vet appointment for 1. I'm going to make it 3 because it is Matt's MVP. He didn't get home in time for me to get him to the vet today. He just arrived. It was yesterday was his appointment. He arrived this morning. So Matt's MVP, Monday morning, will be looked at by the veterinarian. Also on Monday, Blue Bayou Dio and Arches Rainbow will be going to the vet. I don't suspect there's any serious issues, except that Matt's MVP. I want to know what is going on. He will not leave that clinic until she can tell me why he's lame right front. And he's not lame to jog. He's just off. Sore. It's not getting better. I need to know what it is. So that's the plan. That's what went on today. Very happy with today. I know a lot of people are saying, are you droning tomorrow? Are you droning? I guess we're going to have to make a decision. There's a chance of rain all morning. If it rains, the track's going to be a mess. It's going to be a horrible training day for everyone. We could call an audible and say next Saturday. I know a ton of people are literally waiting for these drone videos for tomorrow and can't wait. There's no point having them if it's going to look terrible. So I'm going to go back and look at the track. I went right from the house to the paddock today. So I have not been to the farm yet. I'm going to go to the farm right now. Got to talk to Mario and got to talk to Harry. Talk to Cindy and Burn 12. Going to switch some horses around. And I want to take a look at the track. If the track's going to hold up, then we'll drone tomorrow. But this is going to be super last minute. You may get a video tonight or an email tonight saying droning has been canceled for tomorrow. But it does look like we're going to be able to get it in. No wind and +5 next Saturday, it says on mine. That's a long way off, but still. Anyway, that is your update, your Friday update. Tomorrow, Saturday. Big day on Saturday. Let's have a quick little look-see. We got our boy Sailor. He's in tough. Here's the horse he's in with, racing in a much higher class at the Meadowlands last week, who was 3-1. His name is All the Truth, who's consistently been racing in a higher class. Consistently. Final Claim is a fast horse. This horse has got a mark of 51-3 and 170,000 made. So yeah, tough horse. Durf Hanover, that was the horse that won when Aguilera made a break last week. They just bought him for like 52,000, I think, off of the preferred equine sale. Only for Justice has raced in the Open. His bottom line is the preferred handicap right there. Muscle Fashion shows 2 preferred lines on there. And Phoenix has been racing in the upper echelon of the conditions also. Sailor's in tough. Also, who do we have? We don't have one in there. Race 5, we got Bolt Power. 6-1, I think, is a little silly. They're not going to outpace this horse. Nobody's going to shame this horse. You're not going to pace away from him. If I have him in a position to do well, he will do well. There's nobody in here that is going to make him look bad. Like they got Jonesy Hanover 9-2. Had the rail last week and Bolt Power beat him. But we have me 6-1. Maybe it's me. Race 6 tomorrow, Stonebridge Simba. Back short. I don't like racing him back short. They needed a horse for the class. They're not going to make him look silly. This is his second start back. He'll be a little tighter tomorrow. I suspect he'll put in a good effort. He's tougher than Whalebone. He always will. It's an East Coast saying, by the way. We don't have anybody in race 7. Race 8, we got our boy Patrick DePrano. Line Drive Hanover's never been beat in his life. Really? Wow. I see that. East End's a good horse. These are good horses in here. No joke. Sweet Diesel winning 50 flat last year. Real Willie's a thorn in my side. Old Willie, he's tough. This is a Real Willie I bought out of the mixed sale in Ohio as a baby. He's got 344 made to market 50 and 1. And a good horse. Stonebridge Rex is no joke. Century Fury, he's moving up in class. No plan intended, moving up in class. Take a gamble. So see. So the inside 6 horses are legit nice horses. Yeah, Patrick DePrano should be good. I don't know much about this line drive. Hanover's a betting line, undefeated horse. They say he can fly, and James says he's really good. We'll see how good he is tomorrow. And then I think we have one more in, don't we? That's only 4. We have one more in. 9, 10. Am I missing a horse? James McDowell, Harry Polton, 5, 9, I guess, 6, I do. No, we are missing another one. Whatever. Patrick DePrano, must be race 7. Oh, that's his horse. And then race 2 is Strata. Anyway, should be a good day tomorrow. We definitely had a great week, and just spilled right over into the qualifiers. A great day at the qualifiers. I don't think there was any shocks. You guys might look at a couple of lines and say, oh, they didn't look impressive. Like Eyes of 10 and Archer's Rainbow line looks like garbage. But it isn't. She was good, wasn't hitting herself. I was happy with her. She's not as good on the front. And that wind was legit. She's a small filly. And as far as Arch goes, I can tell you, if you look at her, the way she was trotting today, James said she was terrible. She was trying hard to trot, not trying hard to run. She could have got it done. Chopped all her toes off yesterday. Not a good idea. And you can see why. If you go back and see how elated I was and how excited I was about the way she schooled last week, and then look at the horse that qualified this morning, you can see exactly why I do not like shoeing horses close to the day of the race. It annoys me. I don't put up with it. Neither does Harry, which is good news. But he said, listen, what was I going to do? They already had one of her foot trimmed up and ready to be shod when I come off the track. I just didn't dawn on me to start with this horse, and they did. So, whatever. Circumstances, it sucks. Whether she comes back for a qualifier. This is a filly that did already school in 2 minutes last half, 57. So I'll leave it up to Harry and James, what they want to do. But no, I mean, I already know how good she could be, so keep an eye on her. If they put her in to go, I don't think the maidens are going to make her look silly here. She's a nice filly. So, anyway, with that, I will let you guys go. You all are updated now, as I said. We are keeping a very close eye on the weather. I don't want to say we would cancel, but it is absolutely an option. If we do, it'll be next Saturday. So I know a lot of people out there are saying, please, 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 listen, I know you guys want to be entertained for 5 hours tomorrow in the morning, but it has to be about the horses. And if the track isn't great, if the weather sucks and it's raining, the drone can't go, and I don't really want to be training horses when they're not at 100%. And we still do have a little virus in the barn still. There are a few more babies at spike temperature this week, so I really wouldn't mind not doing anything but light jogging tomorrow. That would actually make me happier. So we'll see how that works out. We'll see how the races go tomorrow. We got Levator on Sunday. We got the horses back in Miami Valley next week. Now, for those of you who maybe don't know, we left Kings County in Cincinnati, the Cincinnati area, with Brett Miller and Stacy, his girlfriend. They are going to train the horse next week and see how he goes. He's got to move up quite a few classes, but it just made no sense for Jason to be running down there with one horse 3.5 hours down the road when we have people that can take care of the horse for us. So we'll monitor that and see how it goes on, but for right now, I don't foresee a problem. The horse was awesome yesterday. Take care. We'll talk to you all very soon.